The arrival. In the year 2528, humanity had reached new heights. They had built powerful starships and explored the vastness of space. One day, a human vessel, the SS Bold Explorer, arrived at a distant planet known as Zetra Prime. The planet was famous for its exotic landscapes and diverse alien life. It was a world full of wonders, but it was also a place where strict rules governed every aspect of life. As the SS Bold Explorer descended into the planet's atmosphere, the crew looked out at the colorful terrain below. Towering mountains, lush forests, and shimmering lakes filled their view. This was a place unlike any they had seen before. The humans felt excitement tingling in their veins as they prepared for first contact with the Zetrans, the intelligent beings who inhabited this world. Commander Lisa Hartley stood on the bridge, her heart pounding with anticipation. "All systems are ready for landing, Commander," said her pilot, Ensign Jake Winters. He was a young man with bright eyes and an adventurous spirit. "We are about to make history." The ship touched down gently on a wide open field. The crew gathered at the entrance, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. They stepped outside and were greeted by the sights and sounds of Zetra Prime. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and colorful creatures flew overhead. As the humans ventured further from their ship, they spotted a group of Zetrans approaching. The aliens had unique features, tall and slender with iridescent skin that changed color depending on their mood. They wore ornate clothing made from natural materials, which shimmered in the sunlight. The Zetrans were cautious but curious. Their leader, a tall alien named Tarek, stepped forward. He had bright blue skin and golden eyes that seemed to see right through the humans. "Welcome, travelers from Earth," he said in a melodic voice. "We have been expecting you." Lisa smiled, hoping to ease the tension. "Thank you, Tarek. We come in peace and wish to share knowledge and culture." The humans had studied Zetra Prime before arriving, but nothing could prepare them for the reality of standing in front of these extraordinary beings. Tarek nodded, but his expression was serious. "You must understand our customs. We follow strict rules that guide our society. To break them is to invite chaos." His words hung heavy in the air. The humans exchanged glances, sensing the weight of the moment. As they talked, Lisa and her crew tried to explain human culture, filled with creativity and a willingness to challenge the norm. The Zetrans listened, their expressions shifting from curiosity to concern. The more the humans spoke about their free-spirited nature, the more anxious the aliens became. "Your ways are different," Tarek said slowly. "We have laws for a reason. They keep our society stable." He looked around at his fellow Zetrans, who nodded in agreement. Jake chimed in, eager to bridge the gap. "But sometimes rules can limit what we can achieve. Humans thrive on innovation. We explore new ideas and take risks." Tarek raised an eyebrow. "And what happens when those risks lead to destruction? Our way of life has endured for generations. Why would you want to change that?" The humans began to realize that they were not just visitors in a new land. They were representatives of a different mindset, one that could challenge the very foundations of Zetran society. The tension grew thicker as both sides grappled with their differences. That evening, the humans attended a traditional Zetran gathering, where the aliens showcased their history and achievements through art and storytelling. The colors and sounds mesmerized the crew, yet they felt out of place. Zetran customs were foreign to them, and they struggled to fit in. During the event, a Zetran artist painted a mural depicting their ancestors and their great victories. The humans admired the artwork, but some could not help but think of the innovations humans had brought to the universe. As the gathering continued, tensions simmered below the surface. Some Zetrans began whispering to one another, their eyes darting to the humans with concern. They worried that the arrival of these free-spirited beings would disrupt their world. A council member, a stern-looking Zetran named Vora, stood and addressed the crowd. "Do we truly wish to welcome these outsiders?" Vora asked, her voice strong and commanding. "They may not respect our laws. They may bring chaos to our land." The humans, taken aback, realized that not everyone welcomed them. Commander Hartley sensed a growing divide among the Zetrans. "We are here to learn and grow together," she called out, her voice ringing through the hall. "We don't want to impose our ways upon you. We want to understand." But Vora remained unconvinced. "Understanding requires respect for our traditions. We must protect our way of life." Her words resonated with many in the audience. As the event ended, the humans returned to their ship, troubled by the day's events. Lisa sat in her quarters, staring at the stars outside. The excitement of exploration now felt overshadowed by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. In the following days, the humans worked to build relationships with the Zetrans. However, each meeting felt strained. The humans' desire for innovation clashed with the Zetrans' adherence to tradition. Commander Hartley could sense the brewing storm, knowing that their differences might soon lead to a confrontation. As the humans continued their efforts, the Zetran Council convened to discuss the implications of the human presence on Zetra Prime. The fear of change was palpable, and the Council debated how to address this new challenge. Little did they know, the arrival of the humans would set off a chain of events that would change the fate of both species forever. The stage was set for a clash of ideologies, where creativity would battle tradition, and the rules of the past would be tested in ways neither side could imagine. The first encounter. The days following the arrival of the SS Bold Explorer were filled with anticipation and tension. Commander Lisa Hartley knew they needed to make a good impression on the Zetrans if they hoped to establish a lasting relationship. The crew spent hours preparing for their first official meeting with the Zetran Council, where they would discuss trade and cooperation. On the morning of the meeting, the humans donned their best uniforms, polished their equipment, and practiced their speeches. The crew gathered in the ship's common area, exchanging nervous glances. Lisa sensed the weight of the moment. "This is our chance to show the Zetrans what humanity can offer," she encouraged. "We must be respectful but assertive. Remember, we are here to build a partnership." As they stepped off the ship and made their way to the Zetran capital, the humans marveled at the architecture. The buildings were elegant, with flowing designs that mimicked the natural surroundings. Crystalline structures glimmered in the sunlight, reflecting colors that danced in the air. It was a beautiful, harmonious blend of nature and technology. When they arrived at the council chamber, the humans were greeted by a grand hall adorned with intricate murals depicting Zetran history. The council members were already seated at a long oval table, their expressions serious. Tarek, their initial contact, stood at the head of the table, his bright blue skin radiating confidence. "Welcome, Earth travelers," he began. "We have gathered to discuss the potential for cooperation between our peoples. However, I must remind you of the importance of our customs and rules." Lisa nodded, determined to respect their traditions. "Thank you for having us, Tarek. We understand that your society values order and stability. We hope to learn from you while sharing our ideas and technologies." The other council members, including the stern Vora, listened intently. As the discussion progressed, it became clear that the Zetrans had specific expectations. They wanted to ensure that any interaction with humans would not disrupt their way of life. "Your people are known for their creativity," Vora said, her golden eyes narrowing. "But creativity can lead to chaos. We cannot allow your reckless nature to endanger our society." Lisa felt a knot form in her stomach. "We understand your concerns, but humans have always thrived on innovation. We adapt and overcome challenges. We believe that working together could lead to great advancements for both of us." The Zetrans exchanged uneasy glances, clearly apprehensive about the humans' boldness. As the conversation continued, the humans shared their technological advancements, space travel, medical breakthroughs, and new energy sources. Each time they introduced a new idea, the council members reacted with skepticism. "Your technology is impressive, but how can we trust that it won't disrupt our customs?" Tarek asked, his brow furrowed. "What safeguards can you offer?" Jake, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "We can establish protocols and guidelines to ensure that we respect your rules while collaborating. Our goal is not to undermine your culture but to enhance it." The council members considered this, but Vora was not convinced. "We have survived for centuries by following our traditions. What guarantee do we have that you will honor our way of life?" Lisa recognized the challenge they faced. The humans were used to operating outside the box, while the Zetrans clung tightly to their established order. "We can prove our commitment," she replied. "Let us participate in a Zetran cultural event, where we can show our respect for your customs while sharing our own." The council murmured among themselves, and Lisa held her breath. Finally, Tarek nodded slowly. "Very well. You may participate in the Festival of Unity, but understand that any disrespect will not be tolerated." Relief washed over the humans, and they began to feel hopeful. "Thank you, Tarek," Lisa said, a smile breaking across her face. "We promise to honor your traditions and learn from this experience." As they left the council chamber, the humans were filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The Festival of Unity was a significant event for the Zetrans, celebrating their history and community. It would be their opportunity to showcase humanity's spirit while demonstrating their respect for Zetran culture. In the days leading up to the festival, the crew prepared diligently. They researched Zetran traditions, practicing dances and learning songs. They wanted to impress the Zetrans and show that humans could adapt and embrace new customs. On the day of the festival, the atmosphere was electric. Colorful banners adorned the streets, and vibrant decorations filled the air with the sweet smell of exotic flowers. The Zetrans wore their finest garments, their skin shifting colors with excitement. As the humans arrived at the festival grounds, they were struck by the beauty of the event. Zetran musicians played enchanting melodies, and dancers moved gracefully, telling stories through their movements. The humans watched in awe, feeling both excited and nervous. When it was their turn to perform, the humans stepped onto the stage. They presented a traditional earth dance, blending their styles with Zetran elements. As they moved, they saw a mix of reactions among the audience. Some Zetrans smiled, while others crossed their arms, watching with suspicion. Despite the nervousness, the humans poured their hearts into the performance. They wanted to show the Zetrans that they respected their traditions and were willing to share their own. The music swelled, and the humans danced with passion and energy. As the performance ended, the crowd erupted into applause. A few Zetrans clapped enthusiastically, while others remained wary. Lisa and her crew exchanged glances, feeling a sense of accomplishment, but aware that challenges still lay ahead. The festival continued, and the humans engaged with the Zetrans, sharing stories and learning more about their culture. They saw that some Zetrans were warming up to them, intrigued by their ideas and perspectives. However, Vora watched from a distance, her expression stern. She remained unconvinced that humans could coexist with the Zetrans without causing disruption. Lisa sensed the lingering tension and knew they had to prove themselves. As the sun set on Zetra Prime, the humans felt a mix of hope and uncertainty. They had made progress but knew that true acceptance would take time. The seeds of change had been planted, but the journey ahead would be filled with obstacles. Little did they know, the bonds formed during the festival would soon be tested as forces within the Zetran Council plotted to protect their traditions at any cost. The clash of ideologies was just beginning, and the humans were determined to show that they belonged in this new world, even if it meant challenging the very rules that governed it. The underlying tension. The Festival of Unity had brought a sense of excitement and camaraderie between the humans and Zetrans. However, beneath the surface, tension simmered. Commander Lisa Hartley and her crew sensed that not all Zetrans were pleased with the humans' presence on their planet. While many had enjoyed the performances and cultural exchanges, a faction within the council was increasingly concerned about the implications of a human-Zetran partnership. In the days following the festival, Lisa noticed a change in the atmosphere around the SS Bold Explorer. The Zetrans who had initially welcomed them with open arms now seemed more reserved. Tarek continued to communicate with the humans, but Vora was increasingly vocal about her opposition to their presence. She believed that the humans' creativity and spontaneity could disrupt the careful balance of Zetran society. One evening, as the crew gathered in their common area to discuss their next steps, Lisa addressed the team. "I can feel that some Zetrans are not entirely on board with our partnership," she said, her brow furrowed in thought. "We need to find a way to assure them that we respect their culture and won't impose our ways." Jake, ever the strategist, leaned forward. "Perhaps we could propose a joint project that highlights both our strengths. It could demonstrate that we're willing to collaborate while respecting their traditions." The crew discussed various ideas, from technology sharing to cultural exchanges, but nothing seemed to resonate. They needed something impactful, an initiative that could showcase their commitment to mutual respect and collaboration. Meanwhile, Vora was busy rallying support among the council members. She frequently met with other Zetran leaders, emphasizing the dangers of human influence. "They do not understand our way of life," she argued passionately. "If we allow them to integrate into our society, we risk losing our identity. We must take a stand to protect our traditions." As tension mounted, Lisa and her crew were determined to counter Vora's influence. They organized a gathering, inviting Zetran leaders to hear the proposals directly. Lisa prepared a presentation that highlighted the benefits of cooperation, focusing on shared technologies and the potential for economic growth. On the day of the gathering, Lisa felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She stood before the gathered Zetran leaders, including Tarek and a reluctant Vora, who sat with her arms crossed, her expression unimpressed. "Thank you all for joining us today," Lisa began, her voice steady. "We believe that our partnership can lead to mutual benefits, and we want to share an idea that embodies respect for both our cultures." She unveiled a proposal for a joint agricultural project aimed at enhancing food production on Zetra Prime using both human technology and Zetran agricultural methods. "By combining our strengths, we can create something truly remarkable that honors your traditions while introducing innovative practices," she explained. Tarek seemed intrigued, nodding along as Lisa detailed the potential outcomes. However, Vora remained skeptical. "And what makes you think our people will embrace your technology? You humans are known for your unpredictability," she challenged, her voice cold. Lisa took a breath, determined to address her concerns. "We understand that trust must be earned, and we are prepared to demonstrate our commitment through this project. We would like to invite Zetran farmers to collaborate with us. Together, we can explore new techniques while respecting your methods." The room fell silent, and Lisa felt the weight of their gazes. Some Zetran leaders whispered among themselves, weighing the proposal's merits. Tarek, sensing the shift in mood, spoke up. "Vora, perhaps we should consider this. A partnership may provide insights that benefit our society." Vora's frown deepened, but she remained silent. The room buzzed with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. After a few moments, one of the council members, a middle-aged Zetran named Immerse, raised a hand. "I believe this project could be beneficial, but we must establish strict guidelines to ensure that our customs are respected throughout the process." The crew spent the next few days preparing for the forum. They wanted to present a united front, demonstrating their commitment to respecting Zetran traditions while addressing the fears surrounding their presence. Lisa felt a flicker of hope, but she couldn't shake the feeling that Vora would use this opportunity to further her agenda. On the day of the forum, the air was thick with tension. Zetrans filled the hall, their faces a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Lisa stood at the front, flanked by her crew, and looked out at the sea of unfamiliar faces. She took a deep breath, determined to convey their sincerity. "Thank you all for coming," Lisa began, her voice steady. "We understand that many of you have concerns about our presence on Zetra Prime. We are here to listen and to answer any questions you may have." Vora wasted no time in voicing her objections. "You say you respect our culture, but your actions suggest otherwise. How can we trust that you won't change our way of life forever? Lisa raised her hand to speak but paused, taking a moment to gather her thoughts. I understand your concerns, Vora, and I respect your passion for protecting your traditions. We want to learn from you, not impose our ways. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Lisa continued, we've seen firsthand the benefits of collaboration in our agricultural project. We've created a system that combines our strengths while honoring your customs. This is not about changing Zetra Prime. It's about enhancing what already exists. A Zetran elder stood up, voice quivering with age and wisdom. And what of your people's history? You come from a planet that has seen destruction. How do we know you won't bring that same chaos here? Lisa's heart sank. This was the question they had all dreaded. She chose her words carefully. We acknowledge our past mistakes, and we're here to learn from them. We believe that every culture has something valuable to offer, and together we can create a future that respects our differences. The forum continued, with many Zetrans voicing their concerns. Some were wary, while others expressed curiosity about the technology and practices the humans could introduce. But each time Lisa felt they were making headway, Vora was quick to stoke the fires of doubt. As the night wore on, Lisa and her crew grew frustrated. They felt they had made their intentions clear, yet Vora's influence loomed large. In the end, the forum concluded without a resolution. Many left the hall more divided than before, and Lisa's heart sank with the realization that their partnership was slipping further away. Back at the SS Bold Explorer, the crew gathered for a late-night debriefing. We need a new plan, Lisa said, her brow furrowed. Vora is rallying support against us, and we have to find a way to counter that influence. Jake suggested, what if we invite more Zetrans to the project? The more involved they are, the less room there will be for fear. We need to show them that our partnership can be beneficial. As they brainstormed, Lisa realized they were running out of time. With Vora rallying her supporters and the Council's support waning, they needed to act quickly to rebuild trust. The fragility of their alliance hung in the balance, and Lisa knew that the next steps would determine the fate of their mission on Zetra Prime. In the days that followed, Lisa and her crew extended invitations to all Zetran farmers, urging them to join the agricultural project. They organized workshops and community gatherings, hoping to create an atmosphere of inclusion and cooperation. However, Vora's grip on public sentiment was strong. She worked tirelessly to undermine the project, spreading rumors and casting doubt on the humans' intentions. Each day, Lisa felt the weight of the challenge ahead, knowing that if they did not act soon, their efforts could be rendered meaningless. The tension between the humans and Zetrans reached a breaking point, and Lisa sensed that a confrontation was inevitable. As she looked out at the stars from the deck of the SS Bold Explorer, she pondered the fate of their mission. They had come to Zetra Prime with hope and dreams of partnership, but now it felt as if those dreams were slipping away, threatened by fear and division. Determined to fight for their place in this new world, Lisa steeled herself for the battle ahead. They had to prove that humans could indeed be allies, not conquerors, and that together they could build a future worth fighting for. The next part of their journey would be crucial, and Lisa knew they had to turn the tide before it was too late. The reckoning. The atmosphere on Zetra Prime grew increasingly tense. Vora's influence had swelled, and public sentiment turned more hostile toward the humans. Lisa and her crew felt the strain as the agricultural project they had fought so hard to build teetered on the brink of collapse. With Vora rallying support against them, they knew they had to act decisively. In the wake of their recent forum, Lisa called an emergency meeting with her crew aboard the SS Bold Explorer. They gathered in the ship's common room, the dim lighting casting shadows on their worried faces. Lisa paced back and forth, her mind racing. We can't let Vora dictate the narrative any longer, she said, her voice steady but urgent. We need to find a way to show the Zetrans that we're here to help, not harm. Jake nodded, a determined glint in his eye. Maybe we can organize a demonstration of our technology. If they see how our methods can enhance their way of life, it might change their minds. Lisa considered this for a moment. That could work, but we need to ensure that it's not just a show. It has to be something they can see the real benefits from, something tangible. As they discussed ideas, Lisa realized they needed a grand gesture to win back the trust of the Zetran people. After brainstorming for several hours, they decided on a plan. They would host a community festival on the outskirts of the agricultural project, showcasing both human technology and Zetran traditions. It would be a celebration of their cultures coming together, with demonstrations, food, and shared stories. The next day, Lisa and her crew spread the word. They visited local markets, engaging with Zetrans and inviting them to the festival. At first, the response was lukewarm, with many still influenced by Vora's rhetoric. However, some Zetrans expressed interest, intrigued by the idea of a cultural exchange. The day of the festival arrived, and the SS Bold Explorer buzzed with activity. The crew set up booths showcasing human technology alongside traditional Zetran displays. Colorful banners flapped in the wind, and the aroma of various foods filled the air. Excited chatter and laughter punctuated the scene, and for a brief moment, it felt like the partnership between the two species was rekindling. As the festival began, Lisa took the stage to welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming today. This is not just a celebration of our cultures, but also a demonstration of what we can achieve together. Let's embrace the strengths of each other and build a better future. The audience clapped, though the applause was mixed with a few murmurs of doubt. Vora stood at the back, arms crossed, her expression skeptical. Lisa felt her heart race as she continued to speak. Today, you'll see how our technology can support your agriculture, and in turn, we'll learn more about your traditions and values. Together, we can create something truly amazing. As the demonstrations began, Lisa was proud to see her crew engaging with the Zetrans. They showcased advanced irrigation techniques and efficient planting methods, while Zetran farmers demonstrated their time-honored practices, sharing the stories behind their traditions. The audience began to warm to the idea, laughter and applause breaking out at various moments. However, as the day progressed, Vora took to the stage, commanding the attention of the crowd. While this may seem entertaining, let us not forget the risks involved. She began, her voice piercing through the festive atmosphere. These humans come from a world filled with destruction and chaos. Can we really trust them? Lisa clenched her fists, frustration rising within her. She knew Vora's tactics were divisive, yet her voice remained strong. Vora, we're here to learn and collaborate. Our world has its flaws, but we have also learned from our mistakes. This is about building a future together, not tearing each other apart. Vora smirked, unfazed by Lisa's words. And what of our lands? Will you exploit our resources for your benefit? This is just a ruse to gain our trust before you take what you want. The crowd murmured, and Lisa could sense the uncertainty spreading like wildfire. She took a deep breath, determined not to let fear prevail. No, this is about cooperation. We've worked hard to ensure that our presence benefits you, not harms you. We want to learn from you as much as you can learn from us. A Zetran farmer named Tarek stepped forward, his voice steady. I've seen the benefits firsthand. The project has increased our yields, and the techniques the humans bring have proven effective. This festival is a chance to build bridges, not walls. Encouraged by Tarek's words, other Zetrans began to chime in, sharing their positive experiences from the agricultural project. But Vora was relentless, rallying her supporters to drown out the voices of hope. The atmosphere became charged with tension as she sought to incite doubt. Lisa nodded eagerly. Absolutely. We will work together to create protocols that protect your traditions while allowing for innovation. This is a partnership, after all. Slowly, the council began to show signs of support. The discussions shifted to logistics, with both sides brainstorming how to implement the project effectively. As the meeting concluded, Lisa felt a sense of victory. They had taken a significant step toward bridging the gap between their cultures. However, Vora's disapproval loomed over the proceedings. She vowed to find a way to thwart the project, fearing that it would only serve to undermine Zetran traditions. In her heart, she believed that humans did not belong on Zetra Prime, and she was determined to protect her people from what she viewed as a threat. In the following weeks, the joint agricultural project was officially launched. The humans and Zetrans worked side by side, sharing knowledge and techniques. Laughter filled the air as they planted crops and exchanged stories. The camaraderie was palpable, and even some of the more skeptical Zetrans began to warm up to the humans. As Lisa walked through the fields, she felt a sense of pride in what they were building together. However, she could not shake the feeling that Vora was still lurking in the shadows, plotting her next move. She knew that the journey toward acceptance would be fraught with challenges, but she remained hopeful that their collaboration would continue to bear fruit. Yet, as the project progressed, the tension between Vora and the humans escalated. Vora began to mobilize her supporters, stoking fears about the impact of human influence. Rumors spread throughout Zetra Prime, painting the humans as invaders rather than allies. As the atmosphere grew tense, Lisa realized that they were standing at a critical crossroads. They could either solidify their position as trusted partners or face a backlash that could threaten their mission on Zetra Prime. Determined to prove their worth, Lisa and her crew resolved to overcome the growing hostility and forge ahead. But they knew the fight for acceptance was far from over. The fracture. As the joint agricultural project flourished, the initial excitement began to wane. While the humans and Zetrans worked side by side, Vora's influence grew stronger, her whispers of doubt echoing throughout Zetra Prime. Lisa and her crew watched with growing concern as the cooperation they had nurtured began to fracture. In the mornings, laughter and shouts of encouragement filled the fields. Zetran farmers shared their traditional methods, while the human crew offered insights into modern agricultural practices. For a while, it seemed as if their partnership might overcome the divide between their cultures. Yet, as the weeks passed, Vora and her supporters grew more vocal. At a council meeting, Vora stood before the gathered Zetran leaders, her voice ringing with urgency. "Our land is being tainted by human ways," she proclaimed, her eyes fierce. "They may seem friendly now, but their technology will corrupt our traditions. We must act before it's too late." Lisa felt the weight of Vora's words as she sat in the audience, unable to intervene. The Zetran leaders exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from curiosity to concern. Vora continued, painting a dire picture of humanity's past, warning of the chaos that could ensue if they allowed the humans to influence their society. "Look at what they've done on their own planet," Vora insisted. "Wars, pollution, and destruction. They will bring their chaos here, and we will lose everything we hold dear. We must protect our way of life." The tension in the room was palpable. Tarek, who had been a steadfast supporter of the humans, rose to speak. "Vora, we have seen the benefits of working together. The agricultural project has not only increased our yield, but also fostered goodwill between our peoples." But Vora was unyielding. "You speak of goodwill, but what of the long-term consequences? We cannot ignore the risks." Her words struck a chord with many council members, causing them to reconsider their support for the project. As the council meeting adjourned, Lisa felt a sense of dread. The atmosphere had shifted, and she knew they were facing an uphill battle. The very foundation of their partnership was being undermined by fear and misunderstanding. She gathered her crew to discuss their next steps. "We need to address Vora's concerns directly," Lisa urged, her voice firm. "If we can't convince the Zetrans that we mean no harm, we risk losing everything we've built." Jake nodded. "We should hold an open forum. Let the Zetrans voice their concerns, and let us respond. Transparency is key." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the festival, Lisa realized they needed a dramatic demonstration to shift the tide. She turned to her crew. "Let's show them what we can do together. Something that combines our methods with theirs, something undeniable." They quickly set to work, combining both human and Zetran techniques in a live demonstration. They planted seeds together in a patch of land, showcasing how human technology could complement traditional Zetran methods. The process was fast and effective, a vivid display of cooperation. As the crowd watched in awe, Lisa felt the tide begin to turn. Zetrans were captivated by the sight of their ancient practices enhanced by human ingenuity. Laughter and cheers erupted as the seeds were planted, a symbol of hope for a future built on collaboration. Yet, just as momentum seemed to shift, Vora's voice cut through the joy. "What happens when you take what you want and leave us with nothing?" she shouted. "This is all an illusion." But Lisa refused to let Vora's negativity extinguish the spark they had ignited. "No, this is our promise to you. We are not here to take. We are here to share. Together, we can build a future that honors both our cultures." The crowd erupted into applause, and Lisa felt a surge of hope. Slowly, Zetrans began to approach her crew, eager to learn more about the methods they had seen. Conversation sparked, laughter returned, and the spirit of cooperation flourished. As the festival wound down, Lisa stood among her crew, watching the Zetrans interact with their technology. They had faced a formidable opponent in Vora, but today they had succeeded in sowing the seeds of trust. The challenge was far from over, but they had taken a significant step forward. In the weeks that followed, the agricultural project flourished as more Zetrans joined, eager to participate. Vora's influence began to wane, and for the first time, there was a palpable sense of hope among the humans and Zetrans alike. Yet Lisa knew that the road ahead would still be fraught with challenges. Vora would not easily concede defeat, and the memories of distrust still lingered. But as she looked around at the thriving partnership, she felt renewed determination. They had proven that through collaboration and understanding, they could overcome the fractures that had threatened to tear them apart. With the festival a success, Lisa and her crew prepared for the next chapter of their journey, knowing they had taken a significant step toward a brighter future on Zetra Prime. The bonds they had formed were beginning to strengthen, and with each passing day, hope replaced doubt. The true test lay ahead, but Lisa was ready to face it head-on, determined to build a legacy of unity and resilience. The shadows of doubt. In the weeks following the festival, the agricultural project thrived. Crops flourished, and the once divided communities of humans and Zetrans began to unite. Lisa and her crew had successfully fostered a sense of collaboration, but they were aware that Vora was still a formidable adversary. Her influence may have waned, but she had not been defeated. "We've made great progress," Lisa began, her voice calm but firm. "But we can't afford to be complacent. We need to remain transparent and engaged with the Zetrans. If we want them to trust us, we must earn it every single day." Jake, ever the optimist, chimed in. "We should host regular community meetings. Let's invite Zetrans to discuss any concerns they have and show them how we're committed to this partnership." The crew nodded in agreement, their faces lighting up with renewed enthusiasm. They knew that communication was key to maintaining the fragile alliance they had built. In the following days, Lisa and her crew organized a series of open forums, inviting Zetrans from all around to come and express their thoughts. The first meeting took place in the heart of the agricultural project, where they had planted crops together. As the Zetrans gathered, Lisa felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The meeting began with Lisa introducing the purpose of the gathering. "Thank you all for coming. We want to hear your concerns and ideas. Your voices are vital to this partnership." As Zetrans began to speak, it was clear that many were still grappling with uncertainty. One farmer named Rena stepped forward, her brow furrowed with worry. "We appreciate what you have done for us, but how can we be sure you won't abandon us once the crops are thriving? We fear being left to fend for ourselves again." Lisa's heart sank. She understood the pain behind Rena's words. "I can assure you, we are here for the long haul. This project is about more than just crops. It's about building a community. We will share everything we have learned, and together we will succeed." Another Zetran, A young man named Kren raised his hand. What if you decide to take the best resources for yourselves? We have seen it happen before. Can we trust you not to exploit our land? This question hung heavy in the air. Lisa took a deep breath, her resolve strengthening. We want to be transparent in every step we take. We're committed to using technology to benefit both our people and yours. We will create joint committees to oversee resources and ensure everyone has a voice. Gradually, the atmosphere began to shift. As more Zetrans shared their thoughts, they spoke not only of their fears, but also of their hopes for the future. The discussions became a two-way street, and slowly, the tension began to dissipate. Yet, even amidst the growing sense of unity, shadows loomed. Vora had not given up on her campaign against the humans. She began to orchestrate protests, rallying her supporters to question the integrity of the agricultural project. Whispers spread through the community like wildfire, and Lisa knew they had to address the unrest before it spiraled out of control. One evening, as dusk settled over Zetra Prime, Lisa gathered her crew again. We need to confront Vora directly. We can't let her spread lies without standing up for ourselves. We'll host a debate, inviting her to share her views in a public forum. Jake's eyes widened. Are you sure that's a good idea? Vora has a way of twisting words. We could be setting ourselves up for failure. I know, Lisa replied, her determination unwavering. But if we don't stand up for our partnership, we risk losing everything we've built. We must confront this head-on. They set a date for the debate, and as word spread, anticipation and anxiety filled the air. The day of the event arrived, and the community gathered in a large outdoor amphitheater. Zetrans and humans alike filled the seats, the atmosphere crackling with tension. Lisa took her place at the front alongside Vora, who wore a smug expression. The audience was a mix of curious faces and skeptics, all eager to hear what each side had to say. Thank you all for joining us, Lisa began, her voice steady. Today, we'll discuss our project and the future of our partnership. I invite Vora to share her thoughts. Vora stepped forward, her tone sharp. Thank you, Lisa. While you claim to be here to help, the reality is that the humans have their own interests at heart. We cannot trust them to protect our resources or our way of life. Lisa felt her heart race but maintained her composure. Vora, we have demonstrated our commitment through actions, not just words. Our goal is to uplift both our communities. You can see the crops thriving, the land flourishing. This is not just about us. It's about creating a future where both Zetrans and humans can prosper together. The debate continued, each side presenting their arguments. Vora's words dripped with disdain, while Lisa focused on the benefits of collaboration. She shared stories of their achievements, emphasizing the positive impact they had made on the Zetran community. As the evening progressed, the tide began to shift. Lisa noticed that some Zetrans in the audience were nodding, their expressions softening. It became clear that they were beginning to see beyond Vora's rhetoric, recognizing the truth in Lisa's words. However, Vora was relentless. What happens when the humans take what they want? They are known for their chaos, their destruction. Do we really want to ally with them? Lisa knew she had to turn the conversation around. We come from a place of resilience and strength. Yes, we have made mistakes, but we have learned and grown from them. Together, we can create a legacy that honors both our cultures and leads to a brighter future. As the debate came to a close, the audience erupted in applause. The energy shifted, and for the first time, Lisa felt a surge of hope. Vora's influence had waned as people began to believe in the partnership they were building. In the days following the debate, conversations flourished. Zetrans approached Lisa and her crew, eager to learn more and participate in the project. They began to form committees to oversee the agricultural project, ensuring everyone's voice was heard. But Vora, though weakened, still loomed in the shadows. Lisa knew that while they had made significant strides, the battle for trust was far from over. Yet, she felt a sense of determination coursing through her veins. Together, they had proven that even in the face of adversity, hope could thrive. As the sun set over Zetra Prime, Lisa stood at the edge of the fields, watching the crops sway gently in the breeze. They were not just plants growing in the soil. They were symbols of resilience, unity, and the possibility of a shared future. The journey was still ongoing, but for the first time, Lisa felt that they were truly moving toward a brighter tomorrow. The dawn of a new era. With the debate behind them, Lisa felt a renewed sense of purpose. The bond between humans and Zetrans had begun to strengthen, but the journey was far from complete. There were still challenges ahead, and Vora was not one to fade quietly into the background. Lisa knew that the final test of their alliance would soon unfold. As the days turned into weeks, the agricultural project continued to flourish. The crops thrived, and the once divided communities began to see the fruits of their labor. Markets opened, allowing Zetrans and humans to trade goods and ideas. Children from both races played together, forging friendships that transcended their cultural differences. Lisa watched these moments with joy, knowing they were building something special. Yet, in the quiet corners of the Zetran settlements, whispers of dissent persisted. Vora had been rallying her supporters, feeding them doubts about the humans' intentions. Her influence still held sway over a portion of the population, and Lisa understood that they needed to confront this lingering unrest head-on. One evening, as the golden sun dipped below the horizon, Lisa gathered her crew for a strategy meeting. "We need to address the division within the community once and for all. We can't allow Vora's words to sow discord among us." Jake leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "What if we organized a cultural exchange? A festival that celebrates both our heritages and showcases the progress we've made." "That's a brilliant idea," Lisa replied, her eyes lighting up. "We can invite everyone, Zetrans and humans, to participate. It will be an opportunity to strengthen our bonds and dispel the myths that Vora has been spreading." Excited about the prospect, the crew sprang into action. They began planning the festival, scheduling performances, food stalls, and workshops that highlighted both human and Zetran cultures. The anticipation grew as word spread throughout the communities. On the day of the festival, the vibrant fields of Zetra Prime transformed into a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. Zetran music filled the air, harmonizing with human tunes, creating an atmosphere of joy and unity. Stalls lined the pathways, offering delicious foods from both cultures. Laughter and chatter echoed as families and friends came together to celebrate their shared journey. Lisa stood at the center of it all, her heart swelling with pride. She watched as Zetrans and humans participated in games, shared stories, and forged new connections. It was a sight to behold. Two species working side by side, celebrating their differences while finding common ground. However, just as the festivities reached their peak, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd. Vora stepped forward, her eyes sharp and calculating. The joyful atmosphere shifted as whispers rippled through the crowd. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine but steeled herself. "Let me remind you all," Vora began, her voice loud and commanding, "that this is a celebration of illusions. The humans may seem friendly now, but they cannot be trusted. Remember their past. Remember what they have done." Lisa stepped forward, her voice steady as she addressed the crowd. "We have come together to celebrate our progress. This festival represents our commitment to a better future, one built on cooperation and trust. We are not here to deceive anyone. We are here to uplift each other." Vora scoffed, her confidence unwavering. "Uplift or control? Think carefully before you put your faith in them." The tension in the air thickened, and Lisa could feel the weight of uncertainty pressing down on the crowd. She knew she had to take action. "Let us not forget that we stand here today because of our hard work and collaboration. Together, we have achieved remarkable things. Let's celebrate our accomplishments, not dwell on fear." As she spoke, Lisa could see some Zetrans nodding, their expressions shifting from doubt to recognition. They were beginning to see the truth in her words, and it filled her with hope. "Join us," Lisa continued, her voice rising above the crowd. "We have a chance to build a new legacy. one where our children can play without fear and where our communities thrive together. Let this festival mark the beginning of a new era. In that moment, the crowd erupted in applause. Lisa's words resonated, igniting a spark of unity among the Zetrans and humans alike. They began to chant, celebrating their shared vision for the future. But Vora was not finished. She called out, her voice laced with desperation. "This festival is a distraction. Don't be fooled. They'll turn on you the moment it suits them." Lisa turned to her, determination burning in her eyes. "And what do you offer, Vora?" "Division and mistrust. Our people deserve better than that. We deserve to thrive together, not live in fear." The tide had turned, and Vora could sense it. The crowd, once swayed by her rhetoric, was now embracing the vision Lisa had presented. Vora's face darkened with frustration as she realized she was losing control. In that moment, Lisa felt a wave of relief wash over her. The festival continued, the spirit of cooperation reigniting as Zetrans and humans danced, laughed, and celebrated their unity. Vora, seeing her influence waning, retreated to the shadows, plotting her next move. As the festival came to a close, Lisa gathered her crew, her heart full. Today was a significant step forward. We showed everyone that unity is stronger than division. But we must remain vigilant. Vora will not give up easily. Jake nodded in agreement. We need to keep the momentum going. Let's continue organizing events that bring us together. With renewed determination, the crew set out to build on their success. They continued to host community events, cultural exchanges, and collaborative projects. Slowly but surely, the fear that Vora had instilled began to dissipate. As weeks turned into months, Lisa watched as both communities flourished. The crops grew bountifully, but more importantly, so did the relationships between humans and Zetrans. They built a bridge of trust that would stand the test of time. One evening, as the stars twinkled brightly over Zetra Prime, Lisa stood at the edge of the fields. Gazing up at the sky, she felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her. They had fought hard for their unity, and it was beginning to pay off. In the distance, she could see children from both races playing together, their laughter echoing through the night. They were building friendships, creating a future that would honor the shared legacy of both species. The journey had not been without challenges, but through it all, Lisa learned that together they could overcome any obstacle. As she watched the stars shine down, she knew this was only the beginning of a beautiful new chapter. A chapter of hope, resilience, and unity. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and they were ready to face it together.